Here's a guy that is starting to figure the game out.
I'm calling both games.
And here he is, having the time of his life.
That is a disgusting act. Does he get both feet in right here at the end, Jim?
Let's ride. Let's ride. Let's ride.
Welcome back, everyone, to episode 6 of the Rumplemen podcast. I'm Wink, joined by Alex and Steve. It was a big week for a few reasons that we'll get into. Bigger for some of us than others. So we'll go ahead and kick it off with our bets from week 9.
Yeah, kick it off for us, Wink.
Why don't we
Finally
let
had a winning week.
Why don't we let Alex go first?
We're letting me go first?
Yeah.
Loser always goes first.
We'll start with who had the worst week, and then we'll build our way.
We've never done that in the past, but okay.
You made Wink go first last week when it was 0-3.
When it doesn't happen a lot, I understand that you guys want to put it on a pedestal and like want to make a big deal out of it. So I get it. Okay. I lost. All right. 1-2. What'd I go? Carolina to Indianapolis didn't hit. Green Bay, LA didn't hit. Rippin was not ripping passes. They actually signed Wentz because he sucks so bad. But the Vegas one hit. There was the line that made no sense at all. Nobody was
called it.
The Raiders 1.5. And guess what? It hit by like 17 points.
Yep.
But I did want to say something, though. Do you guys remember what I said the Colts would be leading by at halftime?
Nah.
I don't
Don't
remember.
remember. I
What'd
said
you say?
specifically, I said the Colts would be leading by 17 at halftime. Look at this score, guys. Oh, I can't. It won't do it. It won't
It's
do
blurred.
it. It won't.
Let me
do
guess.
It
It
won't
was
do it.
17.
It won't do it. It was 20-3 at halftime.
You should have put that in your Sistiac.
Yeah, that should have been your Sistiac.
But like I'm a genius.
That should have been one of your straight up bets. That should have been a straight up bet. That should have been
should've
a straight up bet.
So I take a win from my loss. Went 1-2. I'm down 0.8 units for my subs. I'm sorry.
So I guess my
do
question to you would be: do you enjoy our subs losing their money with those picks?
You know, you win some, you lose some. I'm more so winning than losing.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go by this season because I'm 7-8. But yeah, I'll get back.
I'm more so winning or losing, and then you follow that up with your losing record.
I'm winning overall in this season.
I said they'd be up by 17 at halftime. I hit it on the head, dude.
I don't even remember you saying that, but
All right, play it back.
we'll move on. I'll go next because we're going from lowest to best. I predicted going 2-1, and I was right, so that kind of makes me 3-1 because that's another bet I got right.
Every blind squirrel finds a nut.
Dude,
Good job finding your nut.
That's not the case.
Yeah, good
I
job
went
finding-
over unders and it paid off, and my logic behind them was pretty sound. There was a lot of scoring in that Vikings game, even with Dobbs. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
knowing
Like
the playbook.
you didn't say that Dobbs was going to come in and light the scoreboard up, though.
That's true.
And my
So your
think
reasoning
Dobbs was
wasn't
playing.
sound. You got lucky.
well, because the quarterback got hurt. There's no way to know that.
Yeah, exactly. But your reasoning wasn't sound. It was just happened to be.
I mean, that game was on pace to hit the over like the entire game.
No, it wasn't.
And my favorite bet of the week was Green Bay and Rams under because you tried to go the opposite and it just you fell flat on your face. That couldn't have been a more strong under. It was perfect. What was there like 20 points scored in that game?
I didn't realize how bad Rippin was.
Oh, it was
Quote unquote, rippin' be rippin'.
Rippin, not be ripping.
I will say I had a four leg parlay with the two bets that I hit and the Commanders money line and then the Philly Dallas under that I missed, and that was
Ooh.
25 to win 500. So that was rough.
Ooh.
But yeah, positive week, 2-1. We're trending up. So this week's going to be the 3-0. So if there's ever a week to take my picks, it's this one.
What happens if you don't go 3-0?
We're not even going to talk about that. It's not a possibility.
But what happens? Like, what are you going to give our subs and our viewers if you don't go 3-0?
I'll give them a subscription to your picks. How about that?
That doesn't work like that.
Like what?
You can't give my picks away because you suck.
Well, I did better than you this week, though.
Yeah, but all right, never mind. Whatever. Here's all right.
guys.
Here for our
Just
subs.
take it up
If
the
he
entire
doesn't go
time.
3-0 this week, he'll do a double rumple on next week's podcast. There we go. Gotcha.
I like that. Back to back rumple in the pod.
How about we do a rumple bet between the two of us? Whoever does worse this week has to do an extra rumple on next week's pod.
For our record, for our bets.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling the best about my bets. I didn't do that much.
That's not what you want to hear. That's not what they want to hear from you. Well, anyway,
I'll take it. Screw it. I'll take it.
All right.
Oh man, that's gonna be rough. But yeah, I mean, let's get into the moneymaker over here. So pretty good week last week. 2 wins, no losses, 1 push. Very, very close push on the Saints Bears games. That was a half a point. We missed that by, but overall, like I said, 2 wins, 1 push.
You also made it by a half point, though, if you put it like that.
True. I mean, that's true.
Glass half full, glass half empty,
Depends how you look at it.
Yeah.
Overall, 8-5-2 on the season. Only guy with a winning record. Up 2.2 units. We're going to keep that trend flowing and keep bringing in the money.
I'm not gonna lie.
The yak bet didn't hit, though, so you lost a lot of money for everybody on that.
This yak bet did not hit, but it was probably the closest this yak bet hit this year.
Wasn't even close. At least mine was pretty close.
I couldn't listen to a word Steve said after he called himself a moneymaker. I didn't like that. It made me uncomfortable.
Hey, stats don't lie.
I mean, he's not lying, Wink.
He is.
Yeah.
I know. It's strange too. I don't know where this is coming from with Steve. But
I tell you, 2 hours a day research. That's where it's coming from.
2 hours a day research. All right, so that's our bet recap for the week. So we're gonna move on to our NFL recap, general recap. We're gonna start with just a power ranking. So our top 5 teams in the NFL right now. Just to clarify, we're saying the top 5 teams that are playing the best, not the top 5 that we think like will win the Super Bowl, right?
We're saying currently right now, who are the top 5 teams in the NFL?
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, that's how I did it.
Steve, why don't you kick us off?
I would love to. So
I'm glad you love to, Steve.
we're going to kick off with the Eagles at number 1. It's kind of hard not to give them the number 1 power ranking. They have the best record in the league, 8-1 right now. Good defense. Jalen Hurts is playing pretty well. A little slow running, but that's Wink's favorite part about him.
Little slow.
Look a little sluggish out there when he's run the ball around. Coming in at number, yeah. But
every time he runs the ball, I'm like, oh gosh, dude.
Sorry, real quick, I have to go off on a tangent. I watched one play of that game versus Dallas. He was like started scrambling out to the sideline, and he got chased down by defensive tackle and didn't even make it out of bounds. He awkwardly slid. It's the weirdest thing. He looks like Peyton Manning running now. Yeah. It's so strange. Anyway,
you never
hurts my heart because Jalen Hurts is my guy, dude.
I mean, he's still doing great in fantasy, but it's just like excruciating to watch him. It's so strange.
Still a great player in general.
Yeah.
Coming in at number 2, I'm going with the Ravens. A little hometown pick there. I mean, they're 7-2. Came off a good win against the Seahawks. Offense is looking pretty good. Defense is looking good as always. Hopefully they can continue that momentum for the rest of the year. Coming in at number 3, I have Wink's Chiefs. Kind of hard to ever bet against Pat Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Andy Reid. It's a pretty solid squad. That division's not very strong right now, so they should probably easily win that one. Number 4, not many people are probably going to have this, or they may after they've been playing recently. They're kind of hot, but I got the Cincinnati Bengals. I know they're only 5-3, and there's a lot of other 5-3 teams in between there, like the Dolphins and even like the Jags at 6-2. But like I said, Joe Burrow is back fully healthy. It looks like he's playing at his MVP level. Only a matter of time for Jamar Chase gets going again. Joe Mixon wasn't even looking bad on Monday night. So I think they should win out a decent amount of the rest of their games.
You
And then
think it's going to take time for Chase to come back?
I said Chase should be coming back to his full prime now. He was kind of slacking.
He's like top. I think it's like top 3 in the league in targets for the whole season.
He may be top 3 in targets, but I'm saying with Joe Burrow getting better, Chase Young is, or not Chase Young, Jamar Chase is going to get better, and he's going to become the top tier receiver he's supposed to be. I'm not saying that he's was playing awful at the beginning of the year, but obviously if Joe Burrow's not throwing touchdown passes, he's not catching them. I mean, T. Higgins outplayed Jamar Chase on Monday night. Jamar Chase dropped that easy touchdown pass.
Yeah, I mean, some people
points of fantasy.
Some people would say that Higgins is better than Chase.
I don't think anyone
that'll be a debate for another podcast.
Some people would say
we can't get that. That's gonna be another Nico Collins debate.
I don't think anyone that's watched T. Higgins play this year would say that he's better than Jamar Chase.
If you watch that out route that he just flat out dropped, you would say that. I was watching that intently, being down by 50 in fantasy.
Whenever we have arguments about like us never admitting that we're wrong, that's where I always go back to Alex can never admit he's wrong.
That argument?
Yeah, you'll never admit it, and you're.
All right, number 5, Steve.
Yeah. To round it out, got the Detroit Lions coming in at 6-2, first in their division. Jared Goff's playing decent. David Montgomery on my team. He's come back from being injured, be back to being a workhorse. Solid defense, solid team overall. So yeah, to round it out, we got the Eagles 1, Ravens 2, Chiefs 3, Bengals 4, and Lions 5.
Okay.
Mine's not too much different. Is yours a lot different, Wink?
Mine's a little different. I'll go next. I have the Eagles 1 as well. Just, I mean, they're the only team with 1 loss. Even though it hasn't looked pretty at times, they just keep winning. So it's hard to pick anyone else over them. I have the Chiefs at 2, which I think it's close with the Ravens, but the Ravens, I don't know what it is. And if you look back like the last few years, it's the same thing. They always struggle against AFC teams, and they play like, I think Lamar is like 18-1 versus the NFC. And their 2 big wins the last 3 weeks have been the Lions and Seahawks. So when they play like Cincy, I'm actually interested to see the Cleveland game this week, to see how they play. If they, come out and have a big win, then I probably would be more willing to swap them for 2. But the Chiefs had that 1 let up versus the Broncos, which was kind of just like a weird, funky game with Mahomes sick and just dumb shit happening. But then they had that big win against the Dolphins last week, who are probably a top 6, 7, 8 team. So I had them at 2, Ravens at 3. I actually have the Jags at 4, as weird as that sounds, but they've just been quietly winning the whole year. So it's hard to, like, they haven't let up lately. They've just been playing well. They had a bye last week. But I think this week against the Niners will be a big test for them.
Yeah, that'd be a good game.
And then I have the Bengals 5 too. They've looked more like the Bengals of last year, the last 2 weeks. Burrow looks healthy. The defense seems like they're kind of coming along. That Bills game, it kind of just like felt the entire time that Buffalo wasn't in it.
I mean, the way, those first 2 drives by the Bengals, like you would have thought they were going to win that game by 4 touchdowns. They couldn't be stopped.
It was the Bills weren't stopping them from scoring that entire game. So they look like they're back to form. So yeah, that's my top 5.
Solid.
Mine's kind of like the same. I feel like we all have Eagles, Ravens, Kansas City in all of our top 5s. And did you have Bengals in your top 5 too, Wink?
Yeah, I had them 5.
Yeah, so we all have those 4 teams. I feel like we just differ on one team. And I'm going with the Browns at 5.
Browns.
I know that's weird.
An interesting one.
I know that's weird, but their defense is so good that I feel like they're going to be in every single game. Doesn't matter who they go up against. It's kind of like the Chiefs. I know the Chiefs are probably better offensively, but the Browns defense is top 2 in the league.
Mhm.
Maybe top 3. I think it's between the Ravens, Browns, and the Jets. I feel like have the top, like those are the 3 defenses that are the best in the league. And when you have that good of a defense, you're going to be in any game. And I don't know about Watson. I have no faith in that guy. But when you get bounce pass shots to hit a Mario Cooper in the end zone for a touchdown, it's just this is your year. Sometimes luck is being better than having better luck is being better than being better.
Sometimes being lucky is better than being good.
Yeah. Sorry, that Rumple's hitting me right now.
But I mean, yeah, like I feel like if Watson played the full year and he wasn't injured a couple of those games, the Browns probably would have a few more records, and there'd be closing the Ravens for that division.
I mean, when you beat the Niners with PJ Walker, you have a pretty decent team around you.
Yeah.
And you like in that regards, Watson is better than Walker. He's going to be better than Walker. So
my only issue with that is, aside from the Niners, they haven't really beaten anyone good, and they got stomped by the Ravens like 3 or 4 weeks ago. They got
that's a division game though. Like I guarantee you, this week coming up is going to be a lot different from that game.
Yeah, but they lost to Seattle, and like really the only teams they've beaten lately are like they beat Indy. Who else did they beat?
I'm not sure.
The Cardinals. It was the Cardinals.
I'm just going based on their defense. Their defense is that good.
I think they're probably better than a lot of people think, but I don't know. I wouldn't say top 5 personally.
Well, the good thing is not your top 5 and it's my top 5, Wing. So back off.
I mean, someone had to do a different, be a little
right,
different.
I was being nice.
Exactly.
That's a stupid fucking pick. Alex is an idiot.
I'm the Skip Bayless of the show, and I'm going to put number 5 at the Atlanta Falcons. Arthur Smith is a genius. No one ever.
All right. Is there anything else we want to talk about just from this week? I know we're gonna.
Yeah, we can talk about something, Wink. This is the first time that I've done this ever in my life, where I deleted the Yahoo Fantasy Football app mid-Sunday because I was so pissed off at everything happening, and I couldn't stop watching my team just shit the bed and get injured.
How long was it actually deleted for, though, before you reinstalled it?
It was reinstalled Monday at halftime. So
just about 24 hours.
It was about it was a little bit over. So it was probably close to 30 hours of me not having the fantasy app. And Drew actually sent me a trade. One of our guys in our league sent me a trade Monday morning. And he was just like, what do you think about that trade? I'm like, I'm going to have to get back to you later tonight. I deleted the app. You can't see it right now. He said, are you serious right now? That's how frustrated I was this weekend. It started out with the stupid Waddle injury on the second play for Miami Dolphins offense. And I was livid throughout the entire day. You can ask Kirsten. I was rattled.
I could tell just by the way you're like responding to text. I was like, it's not like a normal frustrating. I was like, it's genuinely ruined his day.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's really mad. He's legit mad right now.
And it's so sad too because it's like things that are out of my control and I can't handle, and it just ruins my day. Kirsten's like, "Why are you in a bad mood?" I'm like, "Shut up! Don't talk to me."
I mean, that's just gambling and fantasy in general. Like you have no control over it, and it just ruins your entire day. It makes you hate football.
Not like fantasy though. Gambling is different than fantasy. I have a lot of effort put into fantasy. You know, gambling is just like this is what I think happens, and it doesn't happen. Then I blame it being fixed, and I'm fine the next day. Fantasy lives with me for 2-3 days after I do that kind of thing. And it doesn't help that I had the most points scored against me again this week.
Fantasy is more like a lingering, like just like in the back of your head. You're like,
yeah,
my team sucked that bad. When you lose,
it's like gambling. When you lose, it's a punch to the face.
Yeah,
like
it's an hour. It's an hour of feeling like the worst.
Fantasy is like getting a paper cut in between your fingers.
That's a good way.
Where it lingers.
And then you always end up second guessing yourself the entire day or like the next week.
No, I
Your
don't.
heroes made the
No,
wrong
you
pick.
don't second guess yourself when all your guys get injured and you can't do anything about it. You're like, well, all right, I guess I'm just screwed.
Well, not like me when you have CJ Stroud on the bench, you score 51 points. You're just like, oh, what if?
I'm not sure Steve's ever made the right call between two players in fantasy.
I
He's
always make the wrong
Kevin.
call.
He's the Kevin of our league.
Every year, there's always a player where I pick the wrong way every single week. I can't win.
That's just that you got to look at your inner self at that. That's not something that the universe is doing to you. You're doing it to yourself, and you just stink at fantasy.
Yeah, you got to, you know, you got
Exactly.
you got to make your pick all week, and then like 12:59, you got to do a little flip ski and put the other guy in.
So I've tried that before. I tried this like, all right, I'm going to put this guy in. I'm not going to change him out for like a couple weeks, and the same thing happens. The 2-3 weeks he's in, doesn't do shit. Put him on the bench, 51 points. It's just like, I don't know, man.
I would have
It is
probably
what it
played him.
is.
I would have said that he was going to score 5 passing touchdowns, but we couldn't get to that. We ran out of time last podcast. So
Yeah.
I mean, you could have texted me
me
on the side.
And he was going to be up by 17 at halftime.
yeah. I'm just nice like that.
So we'll move on to our guessing game segment.
Here we
So
go.
we're going to start with our nostalgic player. Guess the
Nonchalant.
nostalgic player or nonchalant, as Steve loves to say. Alex,
You guys should get this. Should I put a time limit on you guys?
Yeah, it's like 5 minutes or whatever it is.
All right, I'll put the timeline on. As soon as I say the last stat, that's when the timer starts.
you know, 5 minutes is probably too much. Let's do like 2 minutes.
2 minutes. 2 minutes? All right.
Going cocky.
Okay. All right. You ready?
Right. Speed
Position
round.
wide receiver. Drafted 2005.
Yeah.
Teams were Chargers and the Bucks.
Got it.
He had 3 Pro Bowls.
Got it.
Vincent Jackson.
Is that your final answer?
Wink, is that our final answer?
Yeah, that's it. That's right.
Yeah.
It's wrong. It's Brandon Lloyd. Sorry,
Brandon.
guys.
Brandon Lloyd did not
See you
make
next
3
week.
Pro Bowls.
Oh my God.
Well, good thing we had 2 minutes for that part.
Good segment.
Dude, imagine if we did 5 minutes there.
That must have been. I think that's the quickest one yet.
I said it was an easy one.
Yeah. But we got to get a little bit more like, it's got to be like a guy that when we say the name, we're like, oh, I totally forgot about that guy.
I think the one I already have 2 picked out for my next one. I think
Who were they?
I'm not going to tell you because they're going to be money makers next time. But I got 2 picked out. And the best part is that like both of their stories are pretty similar, so you can definitely get them mixed up for each other. But we'll see what happens.
Man, that sucked. I feel like shit right now. I'm buzzed on Rumple. You guys got my nostalgic player in 2 minutes, not 2 seconds, I should say. All right. Yeah, so the timer for the next like thing that we do this is going to be 5 seconds. Don't get it, we don't get it. I hate you guys.
Wait, how long did it take you to pick them out?
Shit football week. You guys
Like,
got my nostalgic player that fast.
Yeah, like how much research
I'm
is it gonna take
rattled.
you to be like, oh, Vincent Jackson, this is gonna be a good one. They're not gonna get this.
No, I even said, and you can attest to this, I said you're probably going to get this. This is an easy one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said that.
I'm surprised you went that easy with it, though. I was expecting you to pick a random, like,
No, I wouldn't do that to you guys. I would never do that.
Like a Mark Clayton or like a Derek Mason, something like that.
Derek Mason isn't a nostalgic player. He's a nostalgic player to Ravens fans, but that's it.
Derek Mason?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
You said Musin Muhammad. Whoever said that in our group chat like a couple weeks ago, I was like, that would be a like really good random one.
But see, that would be a homer pick.
Yeah. it
No,
would.
Derek Mason would be a good one. 2 Pro Bowls, 1997. Titans, Ravens, Jets, Texans.
So if I did wide receiver drafted by the Lions, had 7 Pro Bowls, you guys wouldn't get that?
Calvin Johnson?
Wait, what?
You guys got it. Sorry, guys.
I'm confused what your argument was there.
I'm really shooting from the hip right now, being buzzed on Rumple. So we might have to make this one a quick episode.
All right, well, we'll move on to the next topic.
I'm just gonna title this worst episode yet.
Jesus.
All right. Steve, you're doing our fantasy player guest this week.
Yes, fantasy player
Alex is
guest.
firing on all cylinders. So I'm really
I am.
expecting to get these ones.
Quick review of what this is. Two mystery players give you their fantasy rankings, some stats about them. You guys got to try and pick who it is.
I'm gonna guess like Steve.
So, like I said, one of them should be pretty easy.
Okay.
They're both quarterbacks.
Hercule.
QB 10 and QB
Josh
5
Allen.
in the year. QB 10, QB 5 in the year. First one, like I said, he's QB 10, 170 points he scored. He has 1,700 passing yards, 10 passing touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 324 rushing yards, and 4 rushing touchdowns. Second guy, number 5 quarterback on the year, 188 points, about 1,900 passing yards, 9 passing touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 440 rushing yards, and 5 rushing touchdowns.
I
Little
think the
hint.
QB5 is. Wait, say it again.
And I mean, take a guess, and I'll give you a little hint if you need it.
I think the QB5 is Lamar. And the QB10. You said 10 passing touchdowns and 4 rushing touchdowns?
Yep, 10 passing touchdowns and 4 rushing touchdowns.
He had a decent amount of rush yards too, like 300, right?
324, yeah.
How many picks did each of them have?
5 picks for the first guy and 3 picks for the second guy.
Okay.
They both played the same amount of games too.
Yep.
I'm just going down the teams right now.
Yeah, I'm running through the divisions.
It was definitely not Bryce Young. It stinks.
I'm gonna say
the
the first. We said the first one had how many rushing yards?
324.
324.
First guy was pretty much like a no-name guy. Like you didn't know who he was at the beginning of the year. Second
Justin
guy
Herbert.
is like
That's a very big hint.
Justin Herbert.
second guy's a fan favorite, popular guy in the league. He was like one of the best quarterbacks fantasy wise at the beginning of the season, or like pre-draft. He was one of the best fantasy quarterbacks.
That makes me want to switch to Josh Allen. No, I think he's number 1 now.
Why can't I like can't
QB10, rushing yards, no name, playing decent. I'm gonna go with Joe Burrow.
You said the second one has 400 rushing yards?
Yeah, 440, 324 and 440.
A lot of rushing yards.
Right? And for a no name too. But knowing Steve's no name, it's probably gonna be a guy that's like a top 5 quarterback.
He said the 441 was a known quarterback.
Yep. The 440 is a known quarterback.
Was one that wasn't known very well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna say, dude, why can't I think of? Every time I play this game, I try to go through the divisions in my head, and I just like totally blank on.
Same.
I don't know why I can't. I like physically can't.
I'm like, Mahomes. No.
400 rushing yards is a lot. I feel like.
That's Lamar. That I guarantee you that's Lamar.
You think so?
Yeah, because he hasn't thrown that many picks this year, and he's the only rushing quarterback besides Josh Allen. And I think Josh Allen is like 2.
440. That would be like what, like 40 rushing yards a game? Yeah, that's probably Lamar. And then a no name.
I think I know you're talking about. It's Dobbs.
I don't think Dobbs has that much rushing yards.
I think it's Dobbs because if you think about no names, no Jordan Love, no Justin Fields. No. It's got to be Mac Jones.
Mac Jones definitely doesn't have that many rushing yards.
All right. Give your final guess.
Yeah.
Give your final guesses.
I'm going Dobbs and Lamar.
All right. Wink.
I'm gonna say let's go with Jordan Love and Lamar.
So
I
the
don't know.
no-name player is Joshua Dobbs.
Let's go.
Correct. And then, of course, Lamar Jackson is the second one.
Dude, what?
Wow.
What?
Impressive.
Yes. It's this funny, like they had like almost identical stats, kind of. I was originally going to do Mahomes and Sam Howell because like they're right next to each other as well, like fantasy-wise. But if I would have said the number 3 fantasy quarterback, that would have been too easy. Like you would have been able to nail that down very quickly.
What is Sam Howell? Like
he's like 5th.
He has a ton of rushing yards.
Is he really 5th?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then even like Justin Herbert is 9 and Josh Dobbs was 10. I was about to do Herbert and Dobbs, but I thought Lamar had much more similar stats than Herbert because Herbert has a lot more passing yards than Dobbs does. But yeah, you guys got it right.
Josh put Dobbs too. Steve's face went from this to this.
Poker face.
No.
Gotta play it cool.
I kind of feel like fantasy quarterbacks, there's not like a huge gap this year. It's kind of weird.
No. Like I said, the gap between 10 and 5 is 18 points.
Some people don't have their fantasy QB playing right now. And some other people also lost their backup QB and are on their third QB.
Stuff.
But we'll move on.
All I'm saying is CJ Stroud, my hot take of being a top 5 fantasy quarterback this year, it's looking promising after last week.
Hey, my Eckler take of finishing RB2 is he?
There's no way he's finishing RB2.
This week.
No way.
I think he's 20 plus 2 straight weeks now.
Thielen has a better chance of finishing top 5 than he does at number 2.
Thielen had a rough game last week, didn't he?
I know, and that even with that.
I don't know about that.
I mean, he's 0 for 0 for 0 right now, so you better eat your words. Also, just like getting into our bets, we'll just go over that real quick. I'm going to say that the first touchdown scored in the Carolina-Chicago game is going to be a punt return. For plus
Panthers?
Is that your Sistiak?
That's my Sistiak.
What's the odds?
Probably close to plus 1,200.
This guy's a genius, I think.
You got to admit that Lamar Dobbs pick was pretty good, though. You said
it was. It took you guys a while, but you got it.
Yeah, I got it.
I don't know why my brain shuts down whenever I start going through, like, if we're not doing this and someone's like, name the teams in the NFC East, I can do it in like 5 seconds. When we're doing this, I'm like, and I just keep thinking of the same division over and over. It's weird. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to our one thing you hate, one thing you love from last week. Who wants to kick us off? Any takers?
I'll kick it off.
Yeah, let's kick us off.
So one thing I loved about last week, me being a Ravens fan, I love seeing them have a strong win against the Seahawks. Even though Lamar didn't have to really do much for that game, it was all in the run game. It was good seeing the rookie Keaton Mitchell come back from his injury and looking like a stud. It's going to be a 3-headed monster attack backfield. I don't see anyone in that division beating the Ravens. I'm saying that they're going to win the AFC North, AFC Championship, and it's going to be a good Super Bowl year for them.
Wow,
dude, it's like the cycle of life with Ravens fans.
Yeah, It really is, dude.
100%.
It's the 3 games.
They're going to lose. They're going to lose this week, and we're going to be like, we hate Lamar. The team sucks.
It's the 3 game stretch
where
they look like all world, and then they'll fall apart. Some like Lamar will like tweak an ankle or something, and then they'll all start saying he sucks. And
yeah,
it's every year.
Yep.
I really hope they don't win.
That's why you root for that?
Because I hate Baltimore fans. They're the worst.
They are the worst.
Legitimately,
they're probably the worst fan base out there.
I mean, I honestly would think that any like person whose team isn't the hometown team would say that about the hometown team, though.
That's a good point.
But Ravens fans are horrible.
Dude, ever since I went to the Chiefs Ravens game like 2 years ago, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire fumbled like when the game was wrapped up and they won. And leaving that stadium, like there were people like touching me, like getting in my face, and I was like, I fucking hate these people so much.
Really? Oh, they wanted to fight.
They were just like they would just touch me and run away, like touch my back. I was like,
What?
I edit, so I can keep that out of the end.
You can't keep that out. I will keep this up until the end of this podcast. Vince likes, or Wink likes his back touched. Back touched. And Wink likes his back touched.
Imagine if it was by DJ Moore.
Hey, now.
All right, I'll say the next one. Are we doing loves first? I guess we're doing loves first.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you guys remember, it was last Thursday night, but obviously everybody knows about the Deontay Johnson drought for his
Touchdown.
catching a touchdown. What was it, 18 games or something like that? 19 games?
Yeah, I think so.
It was a long ass time. I know that.
My love isn't that he caught a touchdown. I'm happy for the guy. I've always been a Deontay fan. My love is if you watch the bench, everybody was excited. Everybody was excited. Like they were jumping up, giving him high fives. You could just tell that he was just like, finally, thank God, thank God. And then you pan over to Pickens on the bench and he's pissed.
He's just like walking off the field.
Everybody's smiling, everybody's high fiving, and then Pickens just sitting there like this with a dead stare.
Dude, that guy really does seem like the worst teammate in the league.
That was like after he like dropped the touchdown pass too.
Did he drop a touchdown pass? I didn't see that.
I'm pretty sure like he had a chance to get a touchdown too, and he dropped it. And then like the Deontay scored like the following couple plays or something.
It was great, dude. I love seeing it because Deontay was so happy, everybody was so happy, and then he's just pissed, just straight up pissed. I mean, 2 catches for a -1 yards is pretty bad though. Like I feel like for a Pickens of hit like that kind of player, like he's a great wide receiver. Like he should be definitely getting the ball more than, I think he only had 4 targets. You should definitely be passing that guy at least 6-7 times a game.
Yeah.
I mean, they're probably throwing the ball a total of 12 times.
They're actually passing it a lot. It's just Pickens can't complete shit. Pickett, sorry.
Pick the Pickens.
Yeah. God, it was so great though.
That is funny. He just seems like an asshole. So
yeah, he seems like Antonio Brown 2.0.
To root against those guys.
Yeah.
All right. So my love was actually getting fun games in primetime. Chiefs Dolphins in the London game in the morning, and then Bills Bengals for the night game. Like I forgot that like I actually enjoy watching good football teams play. Like even when I'm not like invested fantasy or betting wise. And the NFL has just decided to ruin it the next few weeks by leaving the Broncos in prime time both weeks when they can flex them out. So it was nice to have 1 week of fun games before we return to games that no one cares about, like the Panthers Bears going on right now.
Yeah. I mean, like return. Those are probably the 2 best like primetime games we had this year. But I feel like they always put like crappy teams there because they know no one's ever going to watch them outside of like the prime time, it being the only chance.
The Thursday games, if you look at like the schedule all year, it's like they intentionally make them all awful.
I think they do that on, like you said, intentionally and on purpose though.
Yeah. But I don't even know. I've probably watched like half the Thursday games because half the time I'm like, I don't have any people playing in fantasy. I don't want to watch the like Raiders and the Patriots. I
honestly didn't think that the Chiefs and Dolphins game was that entertaining. Granted, I could have a biased opinion with Waddle being out.
I don't think you enjoyed any games on Sunday.
I didn't enjoy any games, but I don't think that was like, I like the Eagles Cowboys game better than that game. Like when a game has a over under of 50.5 and there's only 35 points scored in the game, I don't think that's enjoyable. I'm sorry, I'm not, for all the people that are like, oh, you just don't like defense then. Yeah, I guess I don't. But,
you're right.
Yeah. But I want to see points being scored, and the Chiefs offense looks miserable.
It doesn't look good.
It looks like horrible.
So even when there's not a lot of scoring, I just think when it's 2 teams that are like have
It's a
good
close game.
records.
Like the battle,
And,
battling it out.
yeah, it's interesting. It's just like it's more entertaining to watch than a game that has like no real like value on the season.
Yeah. Bryce Young just threw for like a 45-yard dime.
No, yeah, you back on the Bryce Young train?
I've never been off the Bryce Young train. I've just been off of the general management of the Panthers. I've definitely been off about that. Like, I think Bryce Young is actually a decent quarterback. Not to
He
get
he
off track.
seemed like he was kind of trending up before last week, and then he kind of
He doesn't have anybody to throw to. He doesn't have anybody to throw to. He has no line.
I heard you were a big Adam Thielen fan though.
Thielen is nice. He's good. I wasn't before the season, but he's actually good.
Well,
Anyways.
it's funny that you mentioned Bryce Young because that brings me into my hate of the week. I hate when you have the over-under in a game, especially the under, and you're watching it, and the quarterback decides to throw not one, not two, but three pick sixes.
Three pick sixes. 3 picks.
3 picks, 2 pick sixes, and
Get
puts
your hate right.
14 points on the board that probably would not have been there anyway.
That's not even that bad.
I hate that. That's my hate of the week.
You hate that, yet you still get hit your under.
I still hit my under, but it makes you very nervous when they're scoring defensive points.
Okay.
Any points scored make you dread the under.
You can't really hate it because you still got the under.
I still hate watching it. Doesn't mean I don't win in the end. You can still be nervous watching it. You can still hate watching it. You can still be frustrated watching it, and at the end win it. But it's still frustrating to watch.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Sorry.
Steve needs every bet to be perfect.
Yeah. I mean, someone has to, be good on the show. There can't be a show about gambling. We're all losing records.
Damn. Wank. That's shots fired at you, buddy.
Yeah, well, we restarted the counter this week, so that's that.
Did we? Damn.
Oh no, every week. Each week's a different game.
All right, Alex, what did you hate this week?
I think that there needs to be a weight limit on people who can scoop and score. If you weigh above 200,
that's not even a hate.
You'll understand why I hate it. You need to weigh under 270 in order to try a scoop and score. Because I hate it when I see a fat defensive lineman try to pick up a football and try to scoop it and think that they're going to run 50 yards and nobody catch him to score.
270? That's pretty low.
So are you saying
not really?
So are you hating that they try and scoop and score and then they miss the fumble?
I'm hating I hate how fat linemen try to scoop and score when they have no shot of, even if they do scoop it, on the off chance that they do scoop it, they ain't scoring. So just fall on the ball.
So you don't hate the fact that they scoop and score and miss getting the fumble. You just hate the fact that fat people run.
No, that's not what I'm saying at all.
Dude, Myles Garrett weighs 271. Is he not allowed?
Damn. All right.
An athletic 270. You have to do an athletic 270.
All right. Okay. We'll make it 280. And if your name is Clowney, you can also not do it. It's okay. But that's what I hate, is when these guys try to scoop and score when they should just fall on the damn ball to get a fumble and they miss it and the offense ends up recovering the football. That's what I'm trying to say.
My favorite is when the offensive lineman recovers a fumble and they try to run and they just get drilled.
Yeah. And you can't pick it up and run, right? That's a rule.
It's a penalty. They always throw the flag, but then they still try to do it anyway and they just get drilled.
Go back to the simple IQ plays. Put that on the tally board.
Oh man. All right. My hate this week.
I'm really pissed that you brought up that Myles Garrett was 271.
I was so happy when I googled that and saw it.
We'll make it even 300.
Alex just hates fat people running. That's all it is.
No, I don't. I love fat people running.
All right. So my hate this week, it actually didn't even happen to me this week, but it's just a general thought I've had lately. And it's really not limited to NFL either. But I cannot stand when you have a parlay, like a player prop parlay, and the player gets hurt in like the first quarter and the sports book doesn't waive it or like waive the line. That is the biggest crock of shit. It like whenever it doesn't even have to happen. Like a player will just get subbed out and they won't get like come back in the game for a while, and you're like, wait, what? Where are they? Where are they? Why aren't they back in the game? And you have to start stressing about it, and it like ruins the game.
Yeah,
I think sports books, if it's like first quarter of a game and a player gets hurt, then that line needs to be waived.
Well, what if you're the kind of person that has the under, like you have the under the rushing yards, and the guy gets hurt?
I would think that Wink would be a good enough guy to be like, you know what? I feel bad for the guy that took the over, so we need to waive this, right, Wink?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
And screw the guy that took the under.
No, not screw. It's just a gentleman's agreement.
Yeah, the under should still count, but like,
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, how can one count and one just be a push?
Because if the under hits, if anyone bet the over on the line, you waive that line. You don't have to give them the line. You just waive it. If they're under, then you count it. So if you have a 5-line parlay, player gets hurt, you get an over on them, then it turns into a 4-line parlay.
You would run a very profitable sports book.
I would. Everyone imagine if one sports book like consistently did that, no one else would use anyone else.
Yeah, like I mean, you have two sides to the bet. One side is always going to win. The other side is always going to be a push.
No, are players getting injured every game in the first quarter?
Yeah, you never know.
If they're on my fantasy team.
Yeah.
One of these days, Alex will recover from something.
I won't, dude. That
Will
be ever. It will be forever in my brain.
So that's everyone's, right?
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to week 10 bets.
We're probably gonna wrap this up quick because I think we're pushing like 45, 50 minutes.
Yeah, we'll whiz through this.
Speed through these.
I'll start. I'm going with the Bengals plus 6.5 versus Houston. I think Houston has a little too much hype right now because of the way they won that game last week. Tampa has been falling apart the last few weeks, so I don't really trust how a team plays against them. And Houston's defense is deceive. Like they just give up points.
You said minus 6.5, right?
Yeah. Minus 6.5. Sorry. So
Do you mean to say a sieve?
a sieve, huh?
The defense is a sieve. Everything's just going right through them.
Sift.
We're all saying different words.
It's a sieve. You said a sieve.
I thought
It's a circle. It's a circle.
It's a sieve.
I don't think you're right.
I'm pretty sure it's a sieve.
I think you're wrong.
Alex
said sift, so we're all saying different things.
I didn't know what you said, not gonna lie, but when he said that, I thought that's what he meant.
I'll fact check this when you guys are reading yours off. But anyways, Bengals have been playing well. Minus 6.5. That's my.
I like the minus 6.5. Yeah, I like that bet. I'll go next. I have the under in the New Orleans Minnesota game 41 point under at Minnesota. I think everybody's going to be super hyped about Josh Dobbs and like, oh, he only had 3 days to learn this offense and look what he did. And then with the Saints, they've actually been like a pretty decent offense as of lately. Like their red zone efficiency is actually really good with Taysom Hill, which is why I point out all these facts and I go the opposite way because that's what I do this season and I'm figuring it out.
Not bad. My first pick is going to be Ravens Browns. I'm going over 38. Just a gut feeling. I think it's going to be a good high scoring game. I think 38 points isn't that much for those teams to cover. So we're going to root for points this week.
High scoring game seems ballsy to say about that game because both those defenses are.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't really have any good stats behind it, but it's a gut feeling.
No, I like it. I would go the opposite way, so that's why I like that way.
Yeah, exactly. Everything's saying under, so you go over.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go 49ers at Jacksonville over 45. Debo's back. Niners are finally healthy. Jacksonville seems like their offense is kind of starting to put it together a little bit more. So I think 45 points between the two of them seems like it'll be likely to cover.
Yeah, that same game I have San Francisco -3. for all the reasons that you said.
I like that too.
And I like,
Well-
I don't know. I think everybody's down about the 49ers, rightfully so, probably because Purdy hasn't looked good recently. But yeah, that's what we're going to go with.
I'm glad you picked that because that makes me
I'm glad you picked that because
so
I
much
have
more
Jacksonville
confident
plus 3.
in my next pick. Because yes, I have the Jags +3 versus
Good.
the
Fade me.
49ers.
See what happens, Steve. I bet you can't call like
We
the
did it. We did.
exact point differential.
I faded you last week and it worked. So
That's fine. But what are they going to be up by at halftime? Bet you can't do that.
17.
I can.
Well, about Alex is bragging about that. Neither of us remember him saying it. You can just
You can't
totally
listen.
He's just
Edit
making
that
stuff
part.
up.
All right, edit that part into this episode. Here, leave a spot for this right here.
I'm
And
just,
back.
I'm just
And we're
gonna play
back.
that.
You
I'm
see,
just gonna
that's what
play
I
that
said.
clip of me saying, "You want DJ Moore to touch you?"
Put that right here. I love DJ Moore touching me.
Uh,
Oh goodness. All right. Is it me again?
Yep.
Okay. My last line. I'm staying on the Falcons over train. Falcons at Cardinals over 43.
Kyler.
Kyler's back, and the Falcons with Heineke, they were moving the ball. They kicked like a shitload of field goals because I have their kicker in fantasy and I loved it. But they move the ball and they score points. Their defense is terrible. They give up a ton. And with Kyler back, I think 43 is a good line to cover.
What do you think about that, like Kyler Wilson connection? Do you think it's going to be like a hot connection for Wink? I'm not asking Steve.
I don't know. I think this week, I I would say Hollywood's going to have a big week this week.
But like, what about like Wilson?
Do you have an ulterior motive for?
No, I was just asking.
Alex is starting Wilson because he has no other receivers.
Yeah,
in his
I'd
team.
put money on Wilson.
Wait, I am?
not
Oh, I
catching the
am.
ball.
So weird.
Yeah, and DJ Moore.
My Sistiak bet, Wilson over 3 receiving touchdowns. It's like, I'm kidding. All right. Are you done with that, though? Atlanta over?
Yeah.
Okay. And my last one is going to be Green Bay, Pittsburgh, 39 points over at Pittsburgh. I think both of these offenses suck, which is why I'm going over with this. Like I said, I'm fading myself this entire time, and I'm not doing that bad. 7-8 this season. Usually it looks like a wink stat where I'm 4-11, but 7-8, I'll take it.
No, we restarted the count this week, so 2-1.
1-2 is not bad. 1-2 is not bad for me. It's like
I'll finish it out.
39 points over.
My last pick, I got Vikings versus the Saints, and we're going positive odds with the Vikings money line. Going in there, Vikings are going to win.
Wait,
No real reason behind it.
is that
I just think it's going to happen.
is that line a push?
So no, it's like plus 140 or something like that money line
Well, why don't you just take the spread?
because I want more points.
He wants to win more.
Yeah,
Aren't these bets against the spread?
they can be any bets just as long as they're at least even money.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Alex took the Panthers money line against the Texans like 2 weeks ago.
No, I took the spread.
You did take the spread.
You put the
I said you should take the money line, but I took the spread.
yeah. Well, I'm gonna bump those units up on winning.
You do you.
All right.
I really hope the Vikings cover but don't win.
Why do you guys always like root for my downfall?
Because that would be
I
great.
don't.
Because like you just
Never once
got
can you guys
cocky
just give
and,
me like a yeah, good pick. I'm a root for you. It's
Hey, that's a
always
good pick,
I
Steve.
hope they lose.
That's a good pick, man.
Thanks,
No
appreciate it.
problem.
that coming from you is the most ironic thing I've ever heard.
From Alex, yeah, I know.
All right. I'm going to start us off with the Sistiak bets. This is all parlay. Burrow over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Gus Edwards under 45.5 rushing yards. McCaffrey over 66.5 rushing yards. And Bijan over 55.5 rushing yards. And that comes out to be plus 855.
Okay.
Big Dave Bijan.
Let's hope so.
I'll go next. So these are all anytime scorers. I got Jonathan Taylor, Gus Edwards, Christian McCaffrey, and David Montgomery. Put them all in for scoring at least one touchdown. That's going to be plus 1045.
Sounds like a homer bet, Steve.
Does sound like a little bit of
I mean, I guess if you consider my fantasy team with
Yes, we
CMC,
consider that.
yes. But
Shouldn't be including that in your advice for our viewers.
you should not be giving me advice of how I should be giving out my bets.
I should. Don't worry, this is my big week. Get ahead, Wink.
All right, so I'm going Amon-Ra St. Brown to have the most receiving yards on Sunday. They're playing the Chargers. Chargers defense is a mess, and the Lions love to target Amon-Ra. He's had I think he had one game with 19 targets a couple weeks ago. So that's plus 650 of all the wide receivers on Sunday. So that's my pick.
How many games has he had? Actually had over 100 receiving yards.
I can look.
Over 100 receiving yards, this is plus 650.
No. It's
No.
Receiving yards on Sunday out of all the wide receivers.
Oh, okay.
And I was just wondering, how many games this year he's actually had over 100 yards? Because, actually a decent
Played
amount.
8 games and he's had 5 games over 100.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, that could hit. That's actually not too bad.
Last 3 games, he's had 15 targets, 19 targets, and 9 targets. And he's had 100 plus yards in all of them.
Yeah.
That's
actually that's actually more plausible than I thought it was.
Yeah. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else we want to cover?
Yeah, your rumple shot.
All right. I'm gonna take this shot to the fact that I'm trending back up towards where I belong in our fantasy league. So I'm back up to second now. It's pretty close to first, where I've been most of the time since I joined this league. I think it's been 6 years now, 7 years. I've made the playoffs in all of them. I've won twice. Alex is just staring down. I've been to 3 or 4 championships, so this is a cheers to my success in our fantasy league. Cheers.
Again, you'd be 2-7 with my schedule.
I'm just saying that shot.
He would be last if he played my same schedule. He would be last.
Before you guys get into that, Wink, I mean, you didn't take a Snapchat video of your shot and just send it in the chat. So technically, you still haven't taken your ode Rumple shots.
Oh, do I owe a Rumple shot, Steve? Or did I score the most points this week? And
I think you owed a Rumple shot.
Oh, we should check the books.
Yeah, that's a Rumple, Steve.
Books don't
That's
exist.
a Rumple if I've ever seen one.
That's a Rumple.
Yeah.
Nope. I was trying to just convince someone to take another Rumple shot.
You basically accused Wink of murder, and he didn't murder the person.
That is what you did.
That's not what happened at all.
Go get a Rumple.
Did.
I think we have a quorum here.
All
votes for Steve to take a Rumble. Yep, that's
Steve.
It has to be unanimous.
That's 2-1.
It is.
That works at all.
We'll wait.
Okay. We're waiting then.
You know how bad this podcast is.
He fucking broke.
Now we're just making our viewers watch us stare at the screen for 2 minutes because we're all too stubborn to break.
You're gonna have to edit that one out.
I'm just gonna loop it 5 times so it's even longer. All right. Well, you all enjoyed this probably worst podcast we've done so far.
It probably is. I'm sorry.
We'll try
I
to
didn't
be
bring
better
my A
next week.
game. I was buzzing off Rumple the entire time, so I'm sorry. I'll be
I've
better.
had 2 shots of Rumble now. I think I had 4 hours of sleep last night. So yeah, we'll try to be better next week.
Let's go.
Steve, last words.
I got nothing for this one.
That's the kind of close we're See you all next week.
I got nothing. See ya. Sometimes luck is being better than having better luck is being better than being better. Hmm.